loud and give me the consent to record it as well. Right. Hi, Dr. Burhan. How are you?
Hello, hello. Good.
So this is a particular session, guys, which we want to combine careers, opportunities in biomedical sciences as well as medical sciences. So with the International Medical Campus, what we are planning here is to actually take you guys through a discussion on what does it feel like studying medicine and biomedicine both hand in hand, where you compare each other, compare and contrast each other, look at some unbiased opinions, because the International Medical Campus, we cater to medical sciences as well. So we will give you opportunities in medicine, we will give you opportunities in biomedical sciences. We need to look at a basic combination of these and a comparison of these of how it will happen. So to understand this, I would like to guys tell you that COVID-19 has done major changes for people to look into medical careers. Okay, people are looking into medical careers more than before. The number of students who have gone into studying sciences has increased more than ever before in the previous years. Number one. Number two, students who have actually looked into this particular career, students who have looked into this particular career have also given up various careers due to COVID-19 situations. I'll give you a couple of examples. People who looked into the trade of hospitality, careers in hospitality have given up. People who looked into the careers in, let's say, travel or tourism, so hospitality for the hotel sector, traveling for travel stuff, okay, tourism, building the tourism marketing, the tourism management field, all these people have guys changed. And anything relating to the engineering of flights, aeronautics, aeronautical management, piloting studies, aeronautical engineering, all these courses have brought in people to study medicine. So guys, I only need 1 hour of your absolute attention, 1 hour of your absolute attention to actually listen to this particular session of how things have changed. So COVID-19 has basically changed people to get into sciences, because doctors had a greater demand, psychiatrist doctors had a greater demand, child related studies doctors, pediatricians, they had greater demand, because the COVID-19 created that atmosphere. Also, people who have the potential of studying sciences, okay, people who would want to study medicine and combine it with sciences, immunologists, virologists, these kind of people also, their demand, their salary scales, their opportunities, their research, possibility of publicizing research has increased. So this has actually taken it a lot forward with the rising cost of living in Sri Lanka. So people are looking at, on one side, what are the industries which are developing? We have an industry there. Second is, we have the rise of cost of living in Sri Lanka, where the value of rupee is daily coming down and the value of a foreign currency is really going up. Only way is that I can't swim against the tides. I want to swim with the tides. I need to go and do a study which actually will go on with the race, not going opposite direction. So that is going to be what us in IMC, International Medical Campus, to look into. Finally, to tell you, like, a lot of areas have been developed from here: biomedical science, biotechnologists, forensic scientists, healthcare scientists, medical chemists, microbiologists, researchers, toxicologists, immunologists, virologists, etc. All these people have come on board to actually make the world a better place to live. So we have the risk of maybe the COVID-19 coronavirus, another variant coming up or not, I really don't know. There are various things happening in the world. But if anyone wants to study a course relating to this, we are there to help you. And we are going to compare this with a long-term degree, like a medical degree versus a short-term degree in sciences. So I invite you, Dr. Burhan Hamza, to come on board. And this is an exclusive 1 hour session. We will not go beyond this 1 hour. I want everyone to pay their keen attention on this. We are looking into what is it for a doctor to study medicine? What is it for a doctor to study medicine? We would like to know from Dr. Burhan things like how did he get into a university in studying this six-year career program? What are the opportunities he sees as a doctor? Now, as Dr. Burhan is a person who is out there in the interface, okay, handling even COVID-19 patients and handling patients in various aspects, how does he combine and see the opportunities of sciences, combining it with the medical studies of what is there? So Dr. Burhan, can we have you? And you can share whatever you would like to share with us.
Hi, Inti. Hello. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes.
All right. So, Inti, I think you've actually brought up a very interesting sort of topic with regard to what needs to be done in deciding whether who wants to actually, who wants to pursue medicine or who wants to actually go into biomedical science or any of the other emerging fields that are there with regard to sciences, especially if you look at biology, right? So what I thought was, I mean, this was something that I also was actually a little confused back in 2010 when I had to actually but make a decision basically whether I wanted to pursue medicine or I wanted to do something else with regard to the other opportunities that were there. So I think my aim today is to actually give you a sort of guidance as to how I decided that I wanted to pursue medicine. Right. So basically, like I was from Lyceum International School, Vattala, right? You can see me all the way at the top, the third person from the left, right? So I was from an international school where, where I did not do my local A levels. I did my London A levels, that is the Cambridge London A levels and the Cambridge London A levels. I mean O levels and A levels. So for me, my chances of actually staying in Sri Lanka were very. If I wanted to pursue higher education in sciences, I was actually looking for somewhere abroad, right? So I had this passion. I had this passion that I wanted to become a doctor, because I remember that when I was a kid, I would go to the doctors for any sort of medical problems, and I would admire how the doctor would take his time and figure out a problem that is really concerning me and give me some medicine, and I would get all right. It was very fascinating for me, right? So I had this thing where yes, it would be fun to be a doctor, especially at that age. So I when I used to go, I assumed for a doctor would need to work hard, therefore he needs to be smart, he needs to be well versed with his knowledge. Therefore I worked hard during my schooling days. I actually realized that I need to make sure my academics were up to par. Also with the academics, I was very well keen in making sure that I did my extracurriculars. I did all these additional things also well, because I knew that I needed a scholarship, right? Because I didn't just want to go into medical school. I wanted to go with a scholarship because I knew that the burden of putting all of that on my parents would be very difficult, right? So I did everything. I was actually I was a prefect from the year 2007, right, till 2010. I was the vice captain for the house team. I did a lot of things, right? I was actually a part of the Model United Nations Club. I was the president of the Lyceum International School, Vattala Model United Nations Club from 2009 2010. We hosted so many charity programs where we would We had one event where we would, have a car wash, and the money that was collected was donated to Maharagama Cancer Hospital. So we did a lot of things, right, to show that I had this interest of doing medicine. And I represented Sri Lanka for a conference in Geneva. It was a human rights conference. This was outside the building of the United Nations, right? So now I did all of these things in the pursuit of actually wanting to do medicine, right? Because that is what I had. I was like completely confused as to, okay, like I was actually sure, but there was a part of me that was confused with regard to whether I wanted to pursue medicine or not, right? So that's when I met this gentleman, Dr. Darangan Bhaktasilan. He is actually the director of the International Medical Campus, which is why I have agreed to actually come here and speak to you all, because he was my sort of guiding stone that guided me in the right path. So, well, I had very good results for my A levels. I had 3 A's for my A levels, and there came to a point where I realized that countries like Australia, USA, UK is very difficult, especially from the background, the financial background that I came from. Like my parents won't be able to afford Australia, US, UK, and all these other countries. And therefore, I was like, okay, then there's no point, because like if I looked at the universities that were there, right, with my results, I would just get acceptance. I wouldn't get a scholarship because it was that competitive, right? So I remember that, while I was emailing a few universities back then, they said that, you have the results and extracurricular activities to get accepted. Now I'm just giving an example in McGill, the McGill Medical School. But I mean, obviously, I'll have to go there and do a BSc. But it will be very costly. But if I join the biomedical science, as in, biotech, the same thing, biotech, right? I will get a 75% scholarship. That was what was intended to be said when I met a particular gentleman who was representing McGill University. So at that time, I came to this sort of idea. Okay, maybe medicine is too expensive, right? That's when I figured out there are a group of universities that were there that were not very expensive. That was like Belarus, China, Russia, India, Malaysia, right? So many other different countries had medical universities, and I was a little confused. Okay, whether I should still stick with medicine and go to these universities, or go to a very well-known country, Canada, and actually pursue biotechnology or biomedical science, right? But at the end of my session, I'll just try to summarize everything. But at that point, I realized, I was thinking to myself, why have I chosen this particular field? Why medicine, right? Because then I started thinking that back when I was actually, doing my A levels, uh, my mom wanted me to become a doctor, but my dad was not very sure, because he basically comes from a he basically manufactures steel furniture, and because of that reason he was very insisting that I go into engineering and help him out with his company, right? And I was very good when it came to physics as compared to biology, right? So my strengths were very more on the rationalizing, understanding, rather than by hearting stuff, right? So which is why it was kind of natural for even my dad and even other people to actually say that do something with regard to engineering, so that you can help out. But at that point I realized that the life that I want to live is something where I wanted to become a doctor. That was the passion that was within me, right? So during that time I took a decision. No, I don't want to do that. I want to go into medicine, right? So that was something that happened initially. And then when I found out about the universities that were there, right, then I was deciding whether I wanted to go into this track, which is going to be a long track, right? Or I could just go into biomedical science or biotech, or like all the other fields that are there with regard to bio in the field of biology, right? So it was difficult. It was very difficult. But then I realized, okay, maybe I mean, I've waited for such a long time. I mean, I will have to make a lot of sacrifices. And with his help, with Dr. Darangan's help, I actually managed to actually decide that I want to do medicine, right? So I went into medical school, right, with a lot of difficulty, with a lot of I got another external scholarship, all of that, and I got into medical school. And there were a lot of times while I was in medical school that I would, think these are a few pictures of me in medical school, that I would think that I think I made the wrong decision. I should have just gone and done something else, because spending 6 years was not something that was very easy, and it was not something that is like, okay, I want to be a doctor, and it wasn't straightforward. There was a lot of hard work that needed to be put in. There was a lot of like a lot of sacrifices that needed to be made, right? But then and then I would see my friends who were in my school would be working when I was in my third year, fourth year. They would be driving their own car, they would be having an amazing life, whereas I'd be still in medical school, spending money, right? Basically without this thing. But I kept on thinking at that time, maybe it will be worth it, the wait will be worth it. And today, while I have completed my, I think, 4.5 years working in Sri Lanka, I will tell you this, that it is the best thing that I have ever done. Right. So I know some of you all are like, Inti had told me that some of you all are, a little confused as to what to do. Some of you all are sure that you all want to get into this. That is absolutely understood. But obviously, I'm just telling you based on what I felt back then, right? And today, while I'm working in the government sector, the things that I get to do, right? I'll just tell you, there is no profession on earth that equals to what we doctors actually feel at the end of the day. I keep saying this line to every single person. It's basically like you might have all the personal problems in the world, but when you're with your patient and you've treated that patient, you've treated that patient with humility, with care, with a lot of generosity, love, at the end of the day, that satisfaction, I don't think there's any other, there's anything, I don't even think $1 million can earn that satisfaction, right? Because it makes you forget all your personal problems, and you get that one night to sleep, and you can think that, yes, I made a difference, I saved the person's life. And that is what it feels for a doctor, right? And that's something very strong, and that is something that I want to actually highlight. If you're doing medicine for the service, right, if you want to do it because of the service, that's great, that's the most important thing. It's not about the money, it's about the service that you can do for the people, right? And that service, I mean, you cannot cannot measure it in the form, in an objective way, but it's a doctor's sort of feeling at the end of the day of what he gains in the process, right? But that being said, I mean, I would, if you ask me whether I should do this or that, I would definitely want you to do medicine, because it's amazing. It's an amazing field. I'm just telling you with my experience. But that being said, there are so many other fields, right? So if you're not into, wanting to be a doctor, there are a lot of things. Like if you look at biomedical science, right? There are so many different things. Give me a minute. Hello. Yes, I am actually very busy. That is why I'll call you. Okay. Okay. Bye. Okay, I'll call you. I'll just call you back, because I am not in the hospital, but I'm actually in another this thing. I'll give you a call. Okay, I'll give you a call. Okay, bye bye. Okay, right. So as I was saying, the important thing is there are so many other fields, like when it comes to biomedical science, where you figure out you, like, in a sense, with regard to the chemistry point of view, the biological point of view, where you can actually go into biotech, right, which deals with looking at dealing with regard to genetic testing. You look at diseases, you figure out if this person actually has a predisposing risk of developing it. When you look at breast cancer, if this person has a chance, like especially there are these genes, are they possible for this person to get breast cancer? When you look at sort of research, right, figuring out if this person actually, like, in a sense, has antibodies for different, I mean, different diseases, and whether these antibodies can be used for medicinal purposes. Then you look at COVID research, where, you know, how the vaccines have come into play. Then, like Intikab said about forensics, where, you know, you can be a part of, you know, a murder, or where, you know, you try to figure out basically using forensic techniques in, you know, trying to scientifically prove who can it be, you know, like DNA matching. There's so many different aspects with regard to, you know, the others, other sort of things. So you have the biotechnological component, you have the genetic sort of component, you have the research sort of component. So there are so many different fields based on all of those things that you can decide from, right? So it again, at the end of the day, when I sum up what I wanted to say, right, it becomes, it has to come to, it has to come to what you're passionate about. There has to be something from within you that you have decided that, okay, this is what I want to do, right? So I mean, you know, it takes a lot of time for you to figure it out. What I always suggest to students is to actually write down why you have decided to do. For example, if I've decided to do something, like you can do veterinary, you can do nursing, you can do physical assistant. I mean, you know, there is physician assistant in USA. They have these set of nurses who actually have the rights of a doctor. They do partially most of the things, right? So there are a lot of the other things, like someone who might say that I don't want to do it because I can't see blood, right? So basically, if you can't see blood, there are a lot of other areas in medicine that you can do. For example, you can actually, you know, finish off as a doctor and you can be a lecturer, right, in a subject that you're mostly interested in. You can be a professor, you can go into research, right? So there are different aspects, right? In medicine also, you can get your degree and then you can actually progress on to different fields. You don't have to work as a doctor. I know so many doctors who have graduated with an MD, and then later they actually decide to go into research, or they decide go into pharmaceutical. That is another sort of thing where, you know, how new drugs emerge, you know, what are the new antibiotics that are there, the issues with regard to the side effects that are there with antibiotics, how we can actually reduce those side effects, right? So all of these things are actually things that, if you don't choose to do medicine initially, you can go into. But again, deciding this is a very complicated process, but it's very easy when you put your heart and soul and trying to figure out what you want to be in another 10 years. And if that answer that tells you that, yes, I want to be with a white coat and treating patients, then you got your answer. But if you feel that, you know, I don't think I want to do that, but I want to get into this, I'm more of a person who is interested in doing research, figuring out things, you know, about how we can actually diagnose COVID early, you know, these different testing equipments, you know, all of those things. There's so many. I mean, at this moment, you know, I can just go on and on taking one particular topic and, you know, saying how research plays a role, how you can get into the biotechnology side of this particular topic. So there's a lot of things that are there, but for you to know whether you want to choose this or that you need to actually understand. Now I think Inti will do the needful in telling about the monetary aspect of it, how much of money you will earn, the respect sort of thing that comes with the job, right? He will talk about all the other aspects of it. But with regard to, you know, choosing the field, at the end of the day, I would always, you know, want people to actually, like, in a sense, students, to, you know, decide from your heart, because you need to understand that this is, if whatever you pick, I understand it's a very crucial decision, because this decision is going to impact your life, right? I don't want you to pick this particular field just because you think, okay, this is because this doctor is saying it's really good, and, you know, he seems to, you know, say it's worth it at the end of the day. That's not the reason I'm looking for. It has to come from within. And if that is not there, I would not persuade you to do medicine. I would persuade you to do a lot of other things, right? So again, that being said, just because you don't choose medicine does not mean, you know, there's no other option. There's a lot of options. And I think if there are any questions, I will answer. Inti, I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to waste a lot of time, right? There's a lot of things that, you know, I mean, I'm interested in doing surgery, so there's a, there, you know, that is what my focus is right now. So yeah, but I'd like to just tell you a few things, right? Whatever field you choose to, you know, go into, make sure that, you know, you learn, right? You learn in such a way where, you know, your professors, teachers will be inspiration. Now I have this photo just to show you how much importance it is to go into a university or go into a medical program, or if you've decided to medicine, right? How important it is to go into a good university, how important it is to go to a place where you will gain something that is worthwhile. And these two pictures actually tell me that I have made the right decision. On the right, it is Dr. Sachik. You won't believe it. When I was in my sixth year, he was around, I think at that time, he was 93 years old, right? He passed away last year, right? He was 93 years old when he used to actually come and teach us, right? He's a surgeon. He would still do one surgery a day, right? So he would do, for a month, he would do 20 surgeries, right? At the age of 93. I mean, there's nothing called being retired in Belarus. And that shows how much of, how passionate. He could have easily said, no, I'm done, I don't want to, but he still came and he wanted to educate us, right? So it's amazing, right? It's amazing that you meet people like this. On my left, that is Professor Radetskaya. She was the head of the Genenops department, and she was our teacher as well. She was our professor. She teaches Genenops. Genenops is basically the female reproductive system, and about female health basically, right? She was diagnosed with stage 3 ovarian cancer. She had both her organs removed, and as well as a uterus. It's called total abdominal hysterectomy. And even after chemotherapy, she still, right now also, she still comes to the university to teach, right? So which is an amazing thing, right? It shows that the love for medicine is so immense, and you need to have that, right? We all need to have that, because that is, at the end of the day, what is very important when you're choosing a field. You need to be so passionate that there can be so many external factors that can stop you, but when your heart is saying that you want to do this, you will continue doing that. That is the most important thing, not just with medicine, but with whatever fields that you decide to actually do. I guess that's it, Inti. If there are any questions, I'm free to answer.
Anyone has any questions with regarding to what Dr. Burhan has said? Because I would be taking over from now to add on a little bit of more exposure to compare and contrast how this works with regarding to costings and things like that in the medical school. Any questions so far? You may actually proceed with it. Yes. Okay. Dr. Burhan, I think.
I thought, do we need to select our students by considering our talents? Okay, true. Now, I mean, this is a very good question, right? I did not go into this, right? Let me share the screen again. Can you see my screen, or is it, have I stopped sharing?
Not yet.
Right. So I'd like to actually, share this particular picture by telling you a story. This was the first time that this was actually in the fourth year. I actually held a scalpel. So before going into medical school, right? Before going into medical school, I realized I wanted to do something, because I had this thing about cancer, and I wanted to become an oncologist, find a cure for cancer. That was my goal, find a cure for cancer. But when I went into medical school, I realized cancer is a completely different ball game. There are so many different cancers. The pathogenesis is different for every different type of cancer. So it's like complicated. But I was like, sure, okay, I want to get into this, right? So I was in my fourth year, very early clinical period. But that's when I got an opportunity to hold a scalpel, and then I started, got to do a surgery, like in a sense, assist in a surgery, and then the surgery got very fascinating. It was like an exploration. I got fascinated in the fact that I was really looking at this aspect where, okay, I like surgery. This is really interesting. Right? Why don't I mix the two up? That is oncology and surgery and oncosurgery. That's a great field that I could actually pursue. Right after I finish my undergraduate program. Right. So I was really interested, and I had my Professor Sharokova, once asking me, Burhan, what do you want to do? I was like, Madam, I'm actually really interested in surgery. And then she looked at me and said, Burhan, I don't think surgery is good. And I was like, why, man? I was like, look at your, like, in a sense, we had this simulation lab in our university where you can, put sutures. And she's like, your sutures are not neat. Your incisions are also not very clean. I don't think you have the talent. I don't think you have the skills to become a surgeon. Or she said, I don't have that natural raw talent. And I was very, very disappointed or disheartened, and especially from someone who I respected, telling me, that I can't do this. And she was right in a way that, she was trying to tell me that, Burhan, I don't think your core strengths are there, because she knew what my core strengths were because she was my professor. And she said, Burhan, you're very good when it comes to analyzing. You're very, very good when it comes to thinking out of the box. And maybe you're not very good with, sort of hand movements and all of that. And then I kept saying, Madam, I play so many games. I mean, I'm always on my laptop playing a game, or on my PlayStation playing, things to, sort of, improve on that kind of hand-eye coordination. And he's like, yeah, maybe you're good at that, but you're not good at, getting the sutures intact. And I went home back then, and I was thinking day and night, and I was like, I have never had anyone in my entire life tell me that I can't do something that I have planned on doing. And that's when I decided, that's when I don't know what got into me, and I decided I'm not going to let anyone tell me that I can't do this because I'm not naturally able to. And you won't believe it, I basically, when I did not have sessions at the simulation lab, I would still go there. Even when I had free time, I would go, keep suturing, keep suturing, keep suturing, practicing day and night, practicing. And then I came into a point where I realized my sutures were getting better. And that's when I knew that at the end of the day, it was experience. Experience is what made me better. Maybe I'm not, it basically the way that I got my kind of understanding. I mean, I don't know if you all watch football, right? You look at Lionel Messi and you look at Cristiano Ronaldo. I think one of the two, I think I would say undoubtedly one of the best footballers in the world. If you look at Lionel Messi, he's naturally gifted, right? When you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, he is someone who has worked hard, right? He's worked very, very hard. He trains hard, and he's still at the level of Lionel Messi. And that's the example that I use. That maybe I was not born with the talents of becoming a surgeon, but definitely I know that if I work hard, if I keep working effort, I mean, I put a lot of effort, I know I will achieve that. So don't look at the skills, right? Skills and all will definitely aid you, but at the end of the day, you need to look at what you're passionate about, and don't ever let anyone else tell you that you're not good enough to do this. Don't, because no one knows what you are feeling back then. And if you have that desire, you have that fire, that will within you that is telling you, no, I can do this, do what you can, and I'm sure you will succeed. I think that's basically answering your question.
Dr.
Any other
Burhan,
questions? I think
what if someone asks you, is there a
yeah.
demand, is there a more demand for becoming a doctor or for a biomedical program?
I mean, currently I think there is both, right? There is a lot of research with regard to vaccines at the moment, and there is a high demand for that. At the same time, there is a lot of demand with regard to doctors, because a lot of doctors, I mean, with regard to the whole crisis has turned into such a way where they're looking for doctors in the field of medicine, because we were short of so many doctors even in Sri Lanka, in all the other countries. So I can't say that, right now there is a more demand for this. It again changes from place to place. But yes, these two areas are definitely areas where there's always never going to be a point where we are oversaturated with doctors or oversaturated with scientists, or anyone in that research.
Yeah.
How to choose between MBBS and veterinary medicine? Basically, again, MBBS is basically with regard to humans. Veterinary medicine is with regard to animals. And if you have a liking towards animals, and you like, I mean, obviously you feel that you are more suited in treating an animal, or a dog, or a cow, or a horse. It can be anything. I still know a doctor, Dr. Siraya. She's actually from Thailand. She's a horse orthopedic surgeon. So I speak to her, and she says, Burhan, I don't know how you got into humans. I've never enjoyed treating humans, right? And she so it's again up to you, right? How do you have to choose based on, we have to basically, figure out, is this what I want? Is this something that I want to pursue? What is the reason I'm even asking this question? And based on that, you decide. So if whoever's asked me this, if you want to talk to me and, help you in, sort of making a chart between whether you should choose veterinary medicine or bachelor of medicine or bachelor of surgery, please feel free to contact me, and then, I'll help you out. No, don't consider. Next question. Don't. Do we need to consider A-level results when selecting an exam, a stream? Don't consider it. I mean, I know it's important. It's a foundation. I know so many people who didn't do well for their A-levels, but when they went into university, they bloomed, right? So don't let just one single exam decide on what your future will be, right? You might, not understand the value of the exam that you're sitting in, but when those people go into university, they realize what they are getting into and they work hard, right? What are the major differences between doing medical and doing medicine, right? Basically, the major difference is medicine is going into the whole clinical aspect of it. You're going to treat a patient, whereas biomedical is basically in a way that you'll be helping the doctor in figuring out what exactly is with regard to this patient, or how you can actually improve a drug in helping the doctor give that medicine, how you can actually help with regard to the vaccinations, how you can actually help him diagnose patients better. So that's the biomedical aspect. But in medicine, you will be the sole person who will be treating. So, I mean, if you're not good in physics and chemistry, do you recommend to select? These are not reasons. I mean, if you're not good in physics and chemistry, right? Basically means your foundation is not good. Yes, doctor. Yes, she called me. She called me. I'll call the doctor. Mama dang webinar ki ne. I'll call her in 5 minutes. I'll call in 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay. They've given Kiripat. I thought semi-solid. In the doctor, Mama kata karan. I'll call them. Okay. Right. So that again is not a reason. Do we need physics and maths for basically physics and maths are essential when it comes to understanding how a CT scan works, how an MRI machine works, right? So all of those aspects are there because you need to have a little bit of fundamentals, right? You don't need to know how this equation works and all. You don't. Now you need to know the Bernoulli's formula, how there is a blood flow in the blood vessel, things like that. But then it is not into such a depth. But you need to have the foundation, the basis of it, right? But it is not, you don't need to be extra smart in physics and maths for you to do medicine. No, you just need to have that basic idea, right? Do you ever think of dropping out of med school? Yes, I had these ideas. I wanted to actually take a gap year, right? But then I decided that I worked so hard. Why should I do this? Because at that particular time when I was thinking of these things, I was actually thinking, no. I mean, I was looking at my friends, and they would have their own cars. They'd go, going out, partying. Whereas I was still in, in uni, work, still studying around 2-3 o'clock in the morning every day. And the only time that I get to have a good sleep would be a Friday or a Saturday, right? So those questions came into myself, but then I realized, okay, why have I decided to do this? And I remember that I put some posters saying that don't give up. You started this, make sure you complete it. So, I did all these things, and these are just a part and parcel of doing medicine. And that's some way, in a way, that has actually evolved, that has made me, evolve in my thinking, in realizing that this is going to be worth it. I said about A-level results when selecting your stream. Right. I think I've answered pretty much the questions that were there.
Okay, one more important thing, Dr. Burhan, any comments on this particular option of completing something like this in Vitebsk State Medical University of Belarus? We are separating the courses of someone qualifying as a doctor and someone qualifying as a biomedical scientist. Well, what if I have the possibility of doing both together? What is your comment? I finished my 6-year MD with a biomedical science degree.
So you can, no, because Vitebsk State Medical University actually offers. Now, that is what I said. So some people actually basically now there are people who actually want to, not get involved with the clinical aspect and they want to go into research. Now, the beauty about Vitebsk State Medical University is that, while you do the MD, you can get your BSc and Masters as well at the same time, right? So, that option is there only with Vitebsk State. That is why it's called a triple degree program. It was not there when I was there, but it is there now, I think, for the students who are actually interested. What I would suggest is, do it all together, right? Because if you're not sure, go ahead, do it all together, and then decide where exactly you want to actually pursue, how you want to work. But you should have a plan. You can't go, okay, wholeheartedly, like, I'm going to do this, I'll just let this decide. No, you need to have a proper plan. Like, either, okay, I'm going to do this, but just in case as a backup, I might figure out to do this. So you need to go in that way, Inti. I think there's another question, Inti, about the job opportunities. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that aspect is there. Now in Sri Lanka, we are still developing with regard to biomedical scientists. It is there. There is a lot of scope, right, in Sri Lanka, working in the government hospital with regard to, looking at a culture report, or you're looking at a basic, for example, acid fast bacilli screening, where you look at microscope and see how many bacilli that are there. You look at antibiotic resistance, things like that are there, but it's not to a major extent when you look at other countries, right? So the job opportunities are there in Sri Lanka, but they are not as much as the opportunities that are there around the world, right? So that's also now, if that is a factor that you're considering, if you want to stay in Sri Lanka. But again, in another 3-4 years, things will keep on developing, because things are evolving in such a way that there will be a lot of demand. But yes, but if you're asking me right now, the comparison of that demand right now in Sri Lanka, obviously, I would say the demand in Sri Lanka for doctors would be more as compared to a biomedical scientist. That is something with regard to Sri Lanka. But when you ask me in the world, it is pretty much the same. Inti, any more
Okay.
questions?
I think that's about it. I probably will take it on from here, Dr. Burhan.
Okay,
I
Inti.
know you have joined us midst of a lot of things happening in your background. So thank you very much for participating, Dr. Burhan.
No problem, Inti. If there's any questions, if any student wants actually help in deciding what they want, you can always schedule a sort of a one-on-one, and I will be very okay in helping them out.
Awesome. Right. Thank you
Okay,
very
Inti.
much, Dr.
Okay,
Burhan.
take
Have
care.
a
Bye.
pleasant evening. So guys, this is just to brush up and summarize most of the things what Dr. Burhan has said. And let me actually see and explain to you how does the cost factor, and as I promised you, the differentiation of bioscience or doctor, bioscience or doctor. So can you guys be ready with a pen and a paper just to note down certain things which I'm going to say to you so that you can actually write it down. I can't present this in a slide, so I need to actually talk and speak with you and show you actually the cases. So I have two particular cases who will join with regarding to these two programs. So either students are coming after O levels and A levels. Either students are coming after O levels and A levels. So the guy who comes after A levels is going to come with his intention to study 6 years medicine. Right. I have selected a university. I have selected this pathway. I want to have my name to go as doctor. I'm going to be doctor. That is the first comparison. That's the first comparison when you want to compare biomedical sciences with medicine. So when you come into medicine, do I become a doctor? No, I don't become a doctor. When what is my qualification? I'm going to get a qualification called BSc. I am a bachelor's in this particular component. So at the moment, I am focusing on biomed. Now, when we talk about these qualifications of biomed doctors, where do these qualifications connect is a very important point. The qualifications connect here, guys. This is a particular individual who is going to get sick in the next coming week. He gets sick and he is an individual consumer C. He goes and meets a doctor. He consults a doctor and the doctor says, your immune system is bad. This is the doctor. Your immune system is bad. You're not strong inside your body. Your condition is not very strong inside your body. I'll tell you the mechanism of making it strong. I think you need to get vitamin C tablets, let's say. Also, I think you need some iron tablets. Iron, right? You need iron. What this guy does is, this fellow takes this and goes and meets someone else who is inside the pharmacy. This person in the pharmacy is going to look at the prescription and say, sir, we have so many varieties of vitamin C. You want 500 milligram, you want 50 milligram, you want it to dissolve in the water, you want unbranded. Have you seen those white tablets, unbranded? You want a bit of sweet coating and a bit of orange flavor more in it. You want the orange coated one, like that. He will ask you and he will give you. Okay, iron tablets, we have these things, and he will give you. This guy is P, pharmacy. The question is, where does the pharmacy get their medicine from? The pharmacy gets their medicine from someone from here who is going to be in the area of a biomedical researcher. This person is doing all the biomedical research. His research is sold to the pharmacy to sell medicine. The medicine is recommended by the doctor. The doctor gives it to the patient. Now, what Dr. Burhan is saying is, this industry is not there in Sri Lanka. Are we clear? Are we having doctors in Sri Lanka? Yes, 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 yes. Do we have pharmacists in Sri Lanka? Yes. Do we have biomedical researchers who are developing solutions? No. Then where do we get these biomedical stuff done? Abroad. So the second thing is, if you are pursuing a biomedical area, please keep your intention to definitely go abroad. If you are looking at medical professions, being a physician, being a doctor, you can look at a career in Sri Lanka, you can look at a career out of Sri Lanka. If you are happy to be in Sri Lanka, okay, right, here it is. If you want to go abroad, well, okay, right, you can go abroad. But if you want the best gist out of becoming a biomedical researcher, you want the core of it, you need to definitely go abroad, because this industry has developed abroad. That is difference number 2. That's what I told you to write it down. This discussion is, guys, it's like molding you step by step. You can't put this in a PowerPoint presentation and explain. I have to explain it one by one. So the first quality is, if you finish as a doctor, you are a doctor. And no doubt about it. You are no doubt about it. You are a doctor. But if you finished biomedical sciences, you are a biomedical scientist or a biomedical graduate. You are not a doctor. You can't call yourself as a doctor. Okay, right. What happens is, if you select our universities overseas across 6 years, what you will do is, you will invest in the program like this. And my costing is at the moment for Belarus. It's easy to explain one. You want other programs, come and meet us. We will take you through the other programs. 16 lakhs into 6 years. 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16. All inclusive. 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16. For a year, 16 lakhs. That means for 12 months, 16 lakhs. It's almost 1 month. You have to have an expense of 1,10,000, 1,20,000. If you have 1,20,000 a month to spend, or 1,30,000 a month to spend, you can comfortably study in the Republic of Belarus, all inclusive, food, allowance, everything is included here. Now, what happens in biomedical sciences is, you have a step-by-step process to do. You need to finish your biomedical science, 3 years. You need to do your MSc. You need to do your PhD. This is an area which you become a doctor. So here you will be coming into MSc. Here you will be coming into becoming a doctor as a PhD. You know what happens in this method? This method, the total number of years will be 10 years. Is there a method where you can shorten this and explain? Yes, that is what I'm going to explain to you. So opportunity number 1 is here. Opportunity number 2 is here. Opportunity number 3 is, I will want to do biomedical sciences and with less than 10 years become a doctor. To do that, I need to know the cost advantage. Let's come to the cost advantage. This biomedical sciences, we will do it in Sri Lanka below 15 lakhs. Below 15 lakhs, 1.5 million. All inclusive. All inclusive. Later, guys, when you speak to counselors, when you speak to us, when you come, we will tell you how much is the installment, what is the initial registration, what is that, can you give me a breakdown of this 15 years, can I pay like this, can I use credit cards, all those let's discuss later. Let's look into the costings. 15 lakhs to complete the program in Sri Lanka. Now what you can do is you can link yourself from here to here and study in the last 4 years. Last 4 years. So this is opportunity number 1. This is opportunity number 2. This is opportunity number 3. When you compare these, many people in the future will go for the biomedical option and medical option. For the reason is biomedical, it can be done in a way that you work part-time. You can work part-time. Can I do medicine part-time? Can I work part-time? No, you can't do. This is full-time. So a lot of people, when they plan their costing for 16 lakhs a year, I always tell them, look, you need to have the finances of 16 lakhs. You can't go there and do a job and work at KFC, McDonald's, and you can't earn your money and cover it up. No, that's not the plan. You need to have this amount of finances. And this is very affordable finances compared to England or USA. If you want to go to America or England or New Zealand or Australia or Canada, at least you should have 60 lakhs a year to cover everything. Living, tuition, everything, hostel, food, everything, at least 60 lakhs, 60. This country requires 16 lakhs, 16. And that 16 you should be able to cover in installments. If you think that is also not sure, you can look into the option which I'm giving you here, that you will be in Sri Lanka with your mom and dad in Sri Lanka for 3 years. And I will be transferring you to a university for 4 years. And then you will be transferring there. What is the advantage you have? The advantage is that I can study in Sri Lanka, number 1. Number 2, I can work part-time so that I can earn some money out of this year. Number 3, I will have 2 degrees. Dr. Burhan finished only the medical degree. But we are giving you 2 degrees. I am a medical doctor who has a biomedical science degree, or I am a biomedical scientist who is also a doctor. Why is that important? That is why I told you here the connection between the entire industry. That's why it's important. The people who have, my final comment before I close off, my final comment, people who have the dual degree, this and that, will have great opportunities to transfer to countries like Canada or United States, because the Canadian system and the American system give first preference to dual degree holders, because every doctor has a dual degree there. Every doctor has a dual degree there. So I am creating the game plan for you to settle in your life, in your career, for an affordable budget, one of the best opportunities what you have. So International Medical Campus warmly welcomes you here to join our programs, to get involved with these. So guys, my 1 hour time is up. If you have any questions, I could chip in a few questions to look into it. Please post it in the IMC platform, and I will be definitely happy to actually address this. Any other questions? So if you would want to learn more content of this, I would recommend you guys to go on YouTube. I'll send you the link for IMC campus. If you get to follow all our content, you can get yourself subscribed to this particular channel. It's already given to you on your screen. Hold on. Right. Okay, there you go. So I have given it to you. Please subscribe. You can get all this particular video and the other videos here for your knowledge. Right, question. What about the job opportunities for biomedical scientists in Sri Lanka? As I explained, there is no much job opportunities in Sri Lanka for biomedical scientists. If there are, it will be in small labs. We don't have the research labs, but we have small labs. Small labs such as labs in which tests various testings in hospitals. You can work as a lecturer or an assistant lecturer or a demonstrator in a university. You can work as a science assistant or a science lecturer. These are the professions we have. We don't develop the medicine for the doctor, is what I'm trying to say. After 3 years in Sri Lanka, how many years abroad? 4 years. After Sri Lanka, 3 years, 4 years abroad. 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4. 3 years in Sri Lanka, 4 years abroad. Can I start after O-levels? After O-levels, you can start by doing a bridging course so that the university accepts your marks. Sir, can you once again explain how can we do the dual degree? The dual degree is you're studying 6 years in Belarus. With the medical content, I give you biomedical science. With the medical content, I give you biomedical science. It's not a 3 plus 6 or a 3 plus 4, nothing. It's only 6 years. You study in Belarus, you can apply for a biomedical science degree. I hope you're clear. Is biomedical science degree offered by IMC? No, the biomedical science degree is offered by a university abroad. I will give you Malaysian universities or American universities at your budget. We are the coordinator for the course. We will teach it to you here, but the awarding body is from a Malaysian university or an American university. Will there be extra work for the triple degree or is it all together? No, you will have to do a case study or a project or write the final exam. You need a project. You need to do something. Yes, because you are getting a transcript for what you do. You have a transcript for what you do, right? What else? Why aren't you allowed to work if you do medicine? Is that you? Okay, good, very intelligent question. Thank you very much. A lot of people have not asked this. Let's go into this. Let's go into this. This is a very interesting question that I told you can't work here. You need to full-time study here, but here you can work. Here you can work. The reason is you have classes for medical college all 5 days a week for 6 hours, and they want you to go to the library on Saturday and take rest on Sunday. So obviously in the rest day, some students, they go and do sports in the university. For these obvious reasons, you don't have time to work, is what I want to say. Not that you can't work. You don't have time to work. You can't expect to work. In foreign universities, I can expect, this is my course fee. I can work at that salon. I can work at that supermarket. I can work at this restaurant. I will wash dishes. I will clean the floor. I will earn a pocket money and I can cover this. Like that, you can't plan for medical studies. Like that, you can't plan. Okay, right. I'm studying BSc Biomedical Science in Sri Lanka in a private uni. Can I do medicine after BSc? Definitely, you can do medicine after BSc. Yes. Can we join Biomedical Science with our O-levels? Yes, by doing an additional course. Right. Any other questions? So guys, today's video will be uploaded in our YouTube channel. Do check it out if you have missed out anything. Will we be able to get medical degree after biomedical science degree from any university around the world? Any university around the world who will accept your qualification. That is decided upon the university who has to present you with some seats. Every university in the world, I don't know whether they will accept it. But we work with the universities who accept it. So let's say, example, you go and find out that there is a university called the Liverpool University in England. If you write to Liverpool, they might say, no, we don't accept it because we are all filled with seats. We don't accept it, they might say. So it depends on university to university. What is the average biomedical scientist salary in Sri Lanka? I would say, Premier, it won't be much, because it's going to be actually run by the government, and we do not have much examples to say, but I would give you a range of, it would be 1 to 2 lakhs roughly. Will any university accept? So, hold on. What if your subjects for A levels are completely different stream? Is that an obstacle of pursuing medicine? Yes, you will need to do a bridging course. You cannot do medicine by having subjects like economics, business studies, arts, psychology. No, it has to compulsorily be chemistry, physics, biology. I'm studying medicine now. How can I have the dual degree? You only have to have it if you are applying it from the Viteb State Medical University. The dual degree is a privilege given only for students at the Viteb State Medical University. If you want to study it under a different college, you need to write it to them who has admitted you to a university and see whether they can get it for you. We do this exclusively for all our students. What are the expected local AL results to do medicine in Belarus? CCS. CCS. S should not be for biology. CCS. S should not be for biology. London exam, CCD. Since I am currently doing my Bachelor of Biomedical Sciences in a private uni, after getting my degree, can I join IMC to pursue medicine? Yes, you come with the degree, and we will coach you to get into the medical stream. What are the okay, right? I think I have covered everything, right? I'm completing my AS. If I have done physics for only AS, is it enough, or should I do A2? No, 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 no. You need to do A2. You need to do A2. If I join after O levels, when with the bridging program, how long will it take? Bridging program is at least 10 months. You will have to go with 10 more months. Will any university accept me with A+, A and E to do medical sciences? Your E is a problem. Medical sciences, no. Biomedical sciences would be a yes. Medical sciences, I don't think you can because of the E. Can you apply for a recorrection and see whether you can make the E a D? Then that is good. If my results was not 2C1S, can I be a doctor by doing biomedical sciences? Answer is yes. After getting the degree, can I go for veterinary? After getting the degree, can I go for veterinary? Yes, you can go for veterinary. Okay, guys, as stated, time is up, and thank you very much for, coming across with this. We will be uploading this particular one in YouTube, and I hope you will learn from it. So I thank everyone for joining in, and I thank all of you guys for being a good support here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed for this. I hope you learned something in the technical aspects of how to connect this with that with this. Thank you very much, guys. Keep in touch. Have a blessed Sunday evening, and I hope to see you again. Adios. Be in touch with all the counselors. If you want a consultation and you want to be with us in office, you like to meet us, call. You can come and meet us. We will take you through a detailed presentation on all this. You're welcome, guys. Thank you for the lovely, amazing comments. Thank you.